Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. Again, I am Narvaez-Batario, and before I start my video, I invite you to please subscribe! Okay, so this video will still be about subject-verb agreement. I will be discussing 3 more rules. There are actually 20 rules. Again, 20 rules of subject-verb agreement, and that's really a lot of rules. So I'm going to only discuss about subject-verb agreement rules that we can really use in our everyday lives, in our everyday conversations, whenever we make a letter. And for those who want to improve their interview skills, this can actually benefit you as well. Again, grammar is not just enough when we learn it. Grammar is there for us to use it and to improve how we use the language. Okay, so I will still be doing the same technique. I will use screencast to make sure that I discuss each rule in a specific way. Alright, so let's start. Switching to screencast. Okay, so let's start with the 4th SVA rule. 2 or more nouns connected by the conjunction and, we should always use the plural verb. Okay, so let's use the first example here. Okay, it says here Ramon and Russell are teachers. And as you can see, this sentence used the conjunction and to talk about Ramon and Russell. Definitely, when we use and, we are not just talking about one. We are talking about 2 people, right? Talking about Ramon and we're talking about Russell. Therefore, we should use a plural verb. In this case, our plural verb is the linking verb are. All right? Let's now proceed to the next example. The cat and the dog are fighting. All right. Again, you can see the conjunction and. And we're talking about the cat as well as the dog. Right? So we're talking about 2 animals. Therefore, we use a plural verb. Next, we have the 5th SVA rule. And the rule is 2 or more singular nouns connected by or nor, we always use a singular verb. Either Sheila or Karen is singing my favorite song. The idea of this sentence is that we are unsure who's singing my favorite song. We're only talking about one, right? And as you can see, we connected the 2 subjects, Sheila and Karen, using the conjunction or. We use the singular verb is. We go to the next sentence. Dan nor JC speaks French. Okay, we have nor here, see? Okay, we have nor. And when we talk about nor, we are pertaining to no one. So it means that no one knows how to speak French. Not Dan, not JC. Therefore, we use a singular verb. Remember, to transform a verb to its singular form, it's the opposite way of how we do it with nouns. So we add S to make a singular verb. Alright? Okay, so I believe that this is part of the 5th SVA rule. Alright, so what happens if you use different numbers? What do I mean by that? 2 or more nouns connected by or nor with different numbers, you should follow the nearer subject. Let's go to example number 1. Okay. Either the spider or the ants are crawling. Okay, so you can see here, we used or, the conjunction or, to connect the two subjects. However, if you have noticed, the first subject here is the spider. Definitely, we're only talking about one. But if you're going to look at the next one, it says here the ants. And obviously, we're not just talking about one ant, but we're talking about a lot of ants. So it says here, follow the nearer subject. The nearer subject is the ants. So we follow the number of the ants, therefore we used are here. Alright, so that's how we do it. Let's go to example number 2. Neither the students nor the teacher hears the announcement. Okay, so again we can see the conjunction nor here, right? But if you're going to notice, we have two different numbers, meaning we have the students. We're talking about more than one student because it ends with S. And we have the teacher, and it's in singular form. Again, the question is, which subject is nearer the verb? Correct. The answer is the teacher. Therefore, we used the singular verb hears. So we follow the nearer subject. Okay? The sixth SVA rule, I chose this because this is, I think, one of the most common errors that people commit whenever I check essays or even when I read posts or comments on Facebook. Okay, so what is the sixth SVA rule? Phrase between the subject and the verb, remember, do not be confused. Always follow the subject. Should agree with the verb. What do I mean by that? Example, Mrs. Batario. Okay, Mrs. Batario, the teacher of grade 4 students, uses a bike bell to settle down the class. Can you point where the phrase is? Okay, great. This is the phrase. It's again between the subject and the verb. And the phrase ends with students, right? And obviously students is in plural form. But then again, is the phrase the subject of the sentence? No, 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 definitely not. The subject is Mrs. Batario. And how many names do we see? Okay, we only see one. Since this is our subject should agree with the verb. We have a singular subject, therefore we should use a singular verb. And again, if we have Mrs. Batario, a singular noun, our verb should also be singular. And to make a verb singular, we add S. Remember? It's the opposite way of how we do it with nouns. Don't be confused with the phrase separating the subject and the verb. Just remember the topic's name, subject-verb agreement. Alright? It's an agreement between the subject and a verb of a sentence. Okay? Let's go to example number 2. They, who are seated beside the bench, are looking at us. Alright. Can you point where the phrase is? Okay, great. The phrase is this, who are seated beside the bench. The phrase ends with the word bench. And obviously, bench is a singular noun. But then again, it's a subject-verb agreement. Therefore, we should not be confused with this. Let's find the subject. Can you tell me where the subject is? Yes, correct. It's they. And the pronoun they, what is it? Is it singular or plural? Definitely it's plural. Therefore, if we have a plural subject, we should also have a plural verb. Can you find the verb for me? Great. Are looking. And again, we're going to look at the linking verb here. It's in the plural form because our subject is they, which is also in plural form. Alright? Again, so don't be confused with the phrase between the subject and the verb because this is an agreement between a subject and a verb. Alright? I hope you got that. If you want to study the other 16 rules, definitely you can. Just always remember to use reliable websites because there are websites that may cause confusions. Or if you have books at home, grammar books at home, that's better. To improve, practice. Practice, practice. It may sound cliche, but practice really makes perfect. Yay! And that's all for subject-verb agreements. If you have other suggestions on what kind of grammar topics or English topics should I teach, please comment them below. I will be very happy to discuss grammar and English topics that will be of help to you. Okay? So again, I invite you to please subscribe. Okay, so that's it for today. Goodbye!